Good day everyone, my name is Ashley Carlos and I want to present to you our case study analysis about days in franchising hospitality assets in China. But before we proceed, I want to introduce to you my fellow members.
Jubel Bilmoro, Janelle Limbag, Rosalinda Biray, Jan Philipson Rojo, and Ace Carl Marpa.
Days Inn is a hotel chain headquartered in the United States. It was founded in 1970 by Cecil B. Day, who opened the first location in Tybee Island, Georgia. The brand is now a part of the Wyndham Hotels and Resorts, headquartered in Parsippany, New Jersey, which used to be a part of Sandan.
Overview of the study.
Wyndham Hotels and Resorts has reacquired exclusive direct franchising rights for its Days Inn brand for China. The reacquisition was affected through the termination of the master license agreement between Wyndham Hotels and its market licensee for the Days Inn system in China, and aligns with Wyndham Hotels' strategy to grow its direct franchising operations in emerging markets. All of the master licenses rights relative to individual franchise agreements with owners of the Days Inn hotels in China have been assigned to Wyndham, and all royalty fees are payable by Days Inn franchises directly to Wyndham. Wyndham is now the exclusive franchisor of the Days Inn system in China. Details were not disclosed as the expected near-term earning contribution to Wyndham is not material. Wyndham Hotels has more hotels in China than any other international hotel company, with more than 1,400 properties and 146,000 rooms in its franchise system. The Days Inn portfolio in the country consists of more than 70 economies, mid-scale and upscale hotels encompassing more than 12,500 rooms. Traditionally an economy brand, Days Inn China has upgraded the brand image and market placement in China with a range of hotels brands. Days Hotel and Suites, 5-star luxury hotels and holiday brands. Days Hotel, superior 4-star hotel. Days Inn Business Place, full-service business hotel. Days Inn, 3-star city hotels. Days Suites, superior hotel-style service apartments.
Brief introduction.
Franchising is simply a system for expanding a business and distributing goods and services, and is based on a relationship between the brand owner and the local operator to skillfully and successfully expand. It's a contractual relationship, and while both the franchisor and the franchisee share common brand, each is in a different business in a legal and practical sense. According to Hill 2008, franchising is also basically a specialized form of licensing, in which the franchisor not only leases intangible property to the franchisee, but also insists that the franchisee agree to abide by strict rules as to how it does business. The franchisor will often assist the franchisee to run the business on an ongoing business. Franchising is a method of distributing products or services. At least two levels of people are involved in the franchise agreement. The franchisor, who lends his trademark or trade name in the business system, and the franchisee, who pays a royalty and often an initial fee for the right to do business under the franchisor's name and system of operation. Technically, the contract binding the two parties is the franchise. According to Hapsman and Preble 1995, franchising has emerged in recent years as a high significant strategy for business growth, job creation, and economic development at both local and international retail business arena. In hospitality industry, a hotel franchise can be vaguely compared to a chain, since it is a management agreement that provides certain services like brand, reservation, system, support, in return to follow the specific regulation and procedures. In other words, the hotel brand is shared by the other proprietors. Beneficial is that the franchisee can brand their hotel with a well-known and popular brand, while the franchisee contract provides them with a powerful set of tools to drive new business. Similarly, Days Inn has successfully made its franchise in different parts of the world. One of these is China, a country that have a well-developed economy. China is known because of an increase in the growth of tourism in terms of inbound tourism, outbound tourism, and domestic tourism by its 1.3 billion people. The Days Inn Hotel had successfully franchised with the help of WinHub Worldwide, the world's largest franchisor of hotel-branded products.
Objective of the study. The main aim of this study is to investigate how franchising play an essential role in retail business growth and expansion in the hospitality industry. In order to achieve the above stated aim, the following objectives will be specified. Analyze the impacts and the importance of franchising on organizations' growth and expansion. Assess the benefits of franchised businesses, especially franchising hospitality assets, on the socio-economic growth of the economy. Examine the effects, impact of the globalization on franchising as the business growth and the expansion strategy. To state the problems or the potential risk between the franchisor and the franchisee. To make suggestion and recommendation based on finding elicited by the study. Background of the case. Days Inn is a hotel chain headquartered in the United States. It was founded in 1970 by Cecil B. Day, who opened the first location in Tybee Island, Georgia. The brand now a part of Wyndham Hotels and Resorts, headquartered in Parsippany, New Jersey, which used to be a part of Sendon. Founder Cecil B. Day, before creating Days Inn, had worked in a real estate in Atlanta, Georgia, where he built and developed apartment complexes. He also owned several locations of the fast food chains Jiffy Drive-In and Carol's in Atlanta. They sold his holding to Pips Land Company for $14 million in 1969, the largest real estate transaction in the state of Georgia at the time. They founded Days Inn on the Tybee Island, Georgia in 1970. He proposed the idea as a means of using a piece of land he owned on the island. When the first Days Inn opened, they could not find maid services. So he had his children make up the room's bed. Also, a truck that delivered furniture was too heavy for the bridge into the island. So Day's mother hauled furniture onto the island in her station wagon.
Despite the criticism that they face from friends of wanting to start a new lodging option on a no-name island with a flagging tourist economy, the first Days Inn was 100% occupied by April 1970. The first property featured 60 rooms at the price of $8 per room. Later, in 1970, they opened the second location in Forsyth, Georgia. The property was constructed during a heavy rainstorm, and one family stayed at the property a week before it was completed, at Day's insistence. Days Inn of America Incorporation began franchising hotels in 1972 and within 8 years created a system of more than 300 hotels in the United States, Mexico, and Canada. Stanley S. Tolman and Monty D. Handley by the Tolman Handley Hotel Group became the largest franchises in the 1980s and both Days Inn of America. In 1991, they took it into bankruptcy, then sold it to the Hospitality Franchise Systems. However, Days Inn China is the registered trademark of Days Inn Worldwide for Greater China market, established in 2004. Days Inn China is one of the fastest growing hotel chains in China today, with hotel franchise and management agreements in more than 80 cities. Days Inn China Master Franchise is held and managed by Wyndham Group USA. In mid-2003, Harry Tan and his two brothers, David Tan and Ted Fang, started Frontier Group, which was backed by Terra Capital, to acquire the master franchise of Days Inn for Greater China. They felt that there was a lack of mid-tier or economy hotels in China. Most of the hotels were either luxury or budget hotels. There was also a growing affluence in China's middle class. With that in mind, they got in touch with Sendan Corporation, now known as Wyndham Worldwide, and managed to secure the master franchise for Greater China. Since inception in 2004, Days Inn China has become one of the fastest growing mid-tier hotels chains in China, with a total of 140 projects and more than 20,000 rooms spanning 80 cities and 22 provinces across China by the end of 2003. The hotels are operated and managed through the Frontier Group of companies which are based in Beijing and controlled by the Singaporean brothers. Since commencing operation in 2004, the principals have made Days Inn China one of the China's fastest growing mid-market hotel chains, with a portfolio across 22 provinces. Terra Capital continues its role as the sponsor of Days Inn China in steering its strategic direction and arranging real estate deals. The brothers had spotted an opportunity in that they felt that there was at the time a lack of mid-tier or economy hotels in China, and that some of nation's secondary markets had been overlooked by most hotel developers. Most of the hotels that had been developed were either luxury or budget hotels, and yet growing affluence in China had led to the emergence of a large middle class. In explaining their market positioning in Singapore newspaper, the Straits Times quotes Harry Tan, "Our niche market is good because when times are good, the 2-star travelers want to upgrade and give themselves a treat to a 3-star hotel. When times are bad, the 5-star travelers want to save some money and move to a 4-star hotel," according to Tayo 2013. Since its inception in 2004, Days Inn China has become one of the fastest growing mid-tier hotel chains in China, with a total of 140 projects and more than 20,000 rooms spanning 80 cities and 22 provinces across China by the end of 2013. Many of the hotels are situated in provincial cities such as Changchun, Suzhou, and Xiamen, with the majority of properties in the mid-market 3 and 4-star categories. A typical property would be the Days Inn Hotel in Siping. The town, with a population of about 600,000, is at the center of an agricultural region of about 3 million people and is the third largest in the Jilin province of northeast China. The 4-star Days Hotel in central Siping, which features a restaurant, spa, and meeting rooms in the 15th floor property, is the only hotel in Siping featured on the Expedia search engine. Traditionally an economy brand, Days Inn China has upgraded the brand image and market positioning in China with range of hotels Days Inn brands.
Problems.
Franchising is method of doing business by which a franchise is granted the right to engage in the business of offering, selling, and distributing goods or services under a marketing plan or system prescribed in substantial part by a franchisor and which is substantially associated with the franchisor's trademark, name, logo, and advertising. Expanding a business to a new country or locale is complex culturally, linguistically, and legally. International franchising has various pros and cons for the franchise, the franchisor, and the local governments. Of course, no business arrangement is without potential risk and disadvantages. While there are many advantages for the franchisor in entering a franchising agreement, some of the potential risks are difficult to control activities of franchises. In any franchise agreement, particularly when there is geographical separation between the franchisor and the franchise, it can be difficult to control the activities of the franchise and ensure that their activities are up to standard. Hug risk in reputation by allowing other businesses to use their names if unfranchised does not live up to quality standards of the franchisor, cleanliness, customer service, pricing, etc. This can have a negative reputational effect not just on the franchise but on the broader reputation of the franchisor as well. Thus, there is a risk in allowing others not directly connected to the business of use the business name and trademark. While the disadvantages to the franchise might be high entry and ongoing costs, it can be more expensive to start a franchise than an independent business. Thus, franchising is often an option open only to already wealthy businessmen. Franchises have to pay a significant percentage of their revenues to the franchisor, on top of the upfront money needed to start a franchise. The franchise must pay fees and royalties to the franchisor. The franchise fee may range anywhere $5,000 to over $1 million and hence can be a major expenditure for the franchise. Royalties are paid periodically during the life of the franchise agreement. They are either a percentage of an outlet's gross income, usually under 10% of an outlet's gross income, or a fixed fee. Expensive startup costs and ongoing fees are also some franchise disadvantages that can make it harder to get started as a business owner as well as to operate profitably. The initial investment for top hotels chains can run into the hundreds of thousands to millions of dollars. The initial investment includes the initial franchise fee and all other resources like the buildings, staffs, and supplies that are necessary to open your doors. This can cost a lot more than starting a small bed and breakfast or independent hotel. Even after you open your doors, you can expect to pay several types of fees for as long as you own the hotel franchise. Another one of the disadvantages of chain hotels when it comes to being a franchise is that you give up a lot of control over how, when, or even where you operate. From restrictions on how many hotel franchise can operate in a certain geographic region to what kind of food you serve in your hotel's restaurants. You'll need to follow all the franchisor's rules to avoid breaking your contract. For example, you might find that you can only purchase supplies from a specific supplier, or then you have to position your hotel from furniture in a set way. Franchise ownership has less room for creativity since you have to maintain the chain's brand image. This means having to use the chain's slogans, colors, and any logos rather than your own, along with having less flexibility in running the hotel. You are also locked into the franchise agreement, often for a term of several years. If you want out, your contract's termination clause will explain under what conditions you can exit the agreement. At the same time, the contract notes under the conditions the franchisor can end the contract with you as a franchise owner. For example, if you can't afford to pay your fees, or if you try to operate outside the hotel chain's rules, you can end up losing your business. While buying a franchise may be less risky than starting up a new business on your own, this option does not mean that your business will be a guaranteed success. While your business skills will have an impact on how well your hotel performs, the reputation of the franchisor does as well. If the hotel chain is known for poor customer services in general, your purchase may have trouble getting as many guests as you want, even if you personally seek to provide excellent customer service. This means you want to research the chain and read reviews from other franchises when making your decision. So there is also the risk that your franchisor will not provide enough support to help you succeed, while major chains like Choice Hotels provide ongoing support and trainings to franchise to help them build their revenue and optimize operations. Some others might care more about collecting fees from you than seeing you do well.
Solutions.
In cities around the nation, franchise play an integral role in supporting the local economy through job creation and the payment of taxes. Franchisors contribute a great deal of resources to communities around the globe. Launching a successful franchise business provides entrepreneurs with the opportunity to share their ideas, products, and services with like-minded business people who find franchising to be a legitimate way to go into business for themselves. The local economy thrives, jobs are created, and local business districts in cities around the globe profit. Technological advances have made international franchising easier to control and expand with less fear of brand dilution. A well-organized franchising strategy can provide speedy and effective access to markets as they become apparent. In Europe, only 19% of the total room stock is franchise, when compared with the figure of 70% in the USA. It is clear that there is considerable scope for the expansion of franchising as a business model in the European hotel market. Expansion of franchising as a business concept has come the expansion of rules governing franchising relationships. National and supranational regulation of the franchising industry has mushroomed, with many states introducing specific legislation in the past 5 years to protect franchises and promote competition. International franchising exposes the parties involved to more levels of regulation. The relationship between franchisor and franchisee work when the franchisor provides access to an established brand, marketing and loyalty programs, information sharing and support system including purchasing, and usually to a brand-wide reservation system, all aimed at supporting the development of the franchise business. The franchisee in return pays for these services and plays a role in the overall expansion of the brand by maintaining and promoting the standards linked to that brand in its operating market, and if the relationship works, generating referrals for other branded hotels. The franchisor generates revenue and gains access to markets and customers with limited direct financial exposure. Beyond these key rights and obligations, the structure and contents of the franchise agreement will vary widely depending on the relative bargaining position of the parties. International brand owner will invariably seek to impose standard terms of the franchises. However, no documents are set in stone. The owner of the trophy hotel in a prime location will be in a strong negotiating position to negotiate more favorable and demanding terms of its franchisor, even when negotiating with the international hotel chain. In terms of territorial protections, the franchisee wants protection to maximize the commercial potential of the franchise. This protection can relate to both in geographical and product markets in which the franchise is located. The franchisor will be concerned about the future expansion strategy of the brand overall and will want to ensure that unexplored markets are not locked into one single franchise. In addition, the franchisor will want to retain a maximum flexibility to franchise sister brands in the same market. However, these obligations are incorporated. Due attention must be given to compliance with relevant legislation, especially where non-compete clauses and geographical restrictions are concerned. The agreement has very little value to the franchisor or its other franchisees if it fails to specify clearly the operational and brand standards to apply. The ripple effect of the problems at the one hotel can have serious commercial implications for the wider organization. Strict performance and presentation standards, operational and training programs, comprehensive review system both by the franchisor and third parties must be rigorous, and control the purchasing are all desirable to ensure that the franchisee has access to the tools necessary to maintain and promote the brand and the franchisor has sufficient control over the operation of the franchise to ensure that this happens. Tax treatment of the fees payable under the franchising agreement will vary between jurisdictions and is often the driving force in structuring payments under the agreements. Linking loyalties to performance benefits both parties by incentivizing and franchise and franchisor to invest money and energy in market efforts and the maintenance of the brand standards. Other payments can be split on the income and capital basis to maximize tax advantage. Payments of the marketing, both global and local, access to reservation system development and training costs, and other support services can be adapted to best fit the tax and commercial strategy of the parties. It is vital that a franchise agreement clearly apportions the risk between the parties. A key element of the franchise relationship is that the franchise operates the hotel at its own risk and for its own benefits. According, the franchisor should ensure that the franchisee set out its own name and details on all invoices, purchase orders, and official documentation used by the connection with the operation and makes it clear that the franchisee is solely responsible for the operation of the hotel. Notwithstanding of branding, that obligations to ensure are clearly defined and that the name as consured where appropriate and robust indemnification provision are inserted as a backstop if claims are made despite that other measure set out above. The sharing of information and provision of services through dedicated IT system and virtual private network is an essential between of today's franchise relationship. In a franchising paradigm, the franchisee would have unrestricted access to the central reservation system, customer marketing, and pricing information of both the brand owner and other third parties franchisees, while the franchisor would have a real-time access to the franchisee's PMS system and its performance data produced by the franchisee, enabling it to monitor performance and make offer advice on improving yield and occupancy. In reality, this level of access and mutual dependence is unusual given the likelihood that there will be hotels competing for the same customer, and particularly in the conference and function market, hotels in different locations will be competing for the same business. Therefore, each party needs to carefully consider its requirements to access to the other and third party system, be it reservations, loyalty, purchasing airline, and travel agent links, minimum equipment specification and system availability, allocating and cost of inevitable and increasing frequent system upgrades, data security, and other related IT issues. Parties to a franchising agreement can gain significant commercial advantages from the relationship. The agreement should reflect the key objectives of both parties and provide the machinery to ensure that these objectives are not eroded. The agreement can achieve this by a thorough system of performance and quality standards and reviews processes, careful appointment of risk, and strategic drafting to minimize tax advantages.
Recommendation.
We highly recommend that before you elaborate your business, you must know first what the strengths and weaknesses or opportunities and threats of your business. And also, you must prepare your business in the possible problem. You need to prepare your plan A to Z to maintain the standard of your business. We also recommend that you need to be always smart in your decision making, especially when it comes to your business, because there is a possibility that your business will fail or be successful. One of the advantages of choosing a franchise business is that you enter with your eyes wide open regarding startup and future costs. But always remember, franchising has importance or advantages to your business franchisor. Also offer limited time deals on franchise fees and royalties, deferred payment, money-back guarantee, and other promotional incentives. It is also important to have a very accurate picture of what it will cost to start the business, your ongoing expenses, and a good approximation of when your revenue stream will turn positive valuable information you won't have if you start your own business. And take note that franchises operate business for themselves but not by themselves. A solid franchise system works to help hardworking people build something for themselves and their family, without having to reinvent the wheel. Of course, you also need to be committed to the tried and proven business model and the franchise system that has worked for others who came before you. Learning how to best manage your franchise business and applying those lessons is crucial to owning and operating a successful franchise. We want to give some tips for managing a franchise. 1. Follow the proven system. For those franchises that came before you, it's very likely to work for you too, if you follow the systems already set up. 2. Hire the best people and treat them right. Your most important resource is your staff. Create an environment in which great staff members can thrive and are invited to become problem solvers. Avoid micromanaging your staff. 3. Delegate to your employees. Franchises can't do everything there is to do within their business by themselves. That is why we hire employees. Delegation relieves some of the loads from the franchises and provides the employee a sense of importance and ownership in the operation of the business. This will help to develop loyalty from your staff and create a winning team environment. Use what your franchisor gives you. Employ the program and product offering from the franchisor that are designed to market and build your business. 5. Manage your time efficiently. You should work with your team and do all the things you need to address today's workflow. But pay attention to the bigger picture. Attend to those important tasks and develop the presence of mind to know when to proceed to the next item if something is taking more time than expected. To avoid bottlenecking, if there is an item on your list taking an inordinate amount of time, move on to the next item and address later. 6. Acknowledge the fact that you will likely need franchise mentoring and assistance. Being humble and receptive to help and mentoring won't simply minimize mistakes but may also save money, time, and frustration. Ultimately, a tremendous determining factor for franchise business success is how effectively you manage your franchise. It is important for the business owner to maximize the entire value of the franchise system by abiding the established method and honoring the brand you bought into. Any solid franchisor has your back and will support you. At the end of the day, however, helping yourself and managing your business effectively is a huge key to continue franchise success as well.
References.